What is up, crew? Welcome to Seek the Edge podcast with me, Kelsey Lensman, where our mission is to challenge you outside of your comfort zone so you can step into the God-given potential inside. And if you're seeing this on YouTube, this setup is a lot different. I'm actually at my home office right here, heading into the first week of the year. And before we got in the studio, I wanted to give you a podcast of how to think and plan for 2026. Because I will tell you, I've been inundated, and I know you will be inundated with information of, well, set this goal and do this and do that. And it can feel very exciting, but also incredibly overwhelming. And in this podcast, I want to break down what you can truly do to make the shifts in 2026 that not just stick for a week, but stick for months for this upcoming year and years to come. And one thing that I have had a really big realization of over last year is, if you know me, I'm a big go-getter. I like setting goals. I like going after them, not just from an achievement standpoint, but from the standpoint of I love who I can become in the process. Like who I had to become to run 100 miles is somebody that I never thought existed within me, or who I had to become when I pursued a business and starting a business is someone that I initially never thought was within. And so, yes, I'm a very driven. Yes, I'm a go-getter. But last year taught me a lot of things. It taught me that these goals don't need to be accomplished within 2 months. And how when we can expand our time horizon, meaning when we can really think about it of, hey, I want this change for 20 years, not just 2 months, or hey, I want to be fit and healthy for the next 50 years, not just the next year. It allows us to slow down, and it allows us to make the shifts consistently that will stick. And I know many people, as much as they're excited, and I'm excited for them, will get going, the momentum will be there, and as soon as a curveball happens, as soon as resistance comes their way, because it's easier and your brain wants you to retreat, they're going to stop, and they're going to stop pursuing the goals that they have, or they're going to stop pursuing the changes that they're making. And so what we're going to chat through are the 5 pillars of really planning your 2026 of life and your fitness journey to actually stick. Okay. And the first one is choosing your identity before you choose your goals. Is before you commit to what you want to do in 2026, think about who you want to become. I did this for myself as I was heading into this year, and I didn't just put random things on the calendar, but I thought, okay, Kels, in the different areas of your life, who do you want to become? I want to become a better leader. I want to become more intentional with my family and creating those relationships and deepening those relationships. I want to be more intentional with my faith and being incredibly grounded, as this busy world can keep you going in many different directions. I thought about who's that woman that I want to become this year, and who I want to become, that identity with me will always be before the outcomes that I want to go after. When I can get vision of that version of me that I want to become, or things in my life now that I want to continue on, it allows me to know what a no is and what a yes is. Okay. For example, if for me, because I want to be incredibly intentional this year with my relationships and just a lot of different areas of my life, I'm going to say no to this crazy thing that steers me away from that, right? Or I might say yes to something that deepens who I want to become this year. And so when you can anchor your identity, not from we got to accomplish all these goals yesterday, but anchor your identity in strength, in discipline, in faith, and within purpose, your goals now become an expression of who you are. Meaning, your goals now become, okay, this makes sense for me, or this doesn't make sense for me. And for many of you know, with Expand Your Limits, we have big events, whether it be lifting events or hiking events or all of this. And the reason for those events are for you to actually set a goal and commit to it and show yourself who you can become in the process. That is the entire ethos of why we do what we do. Not just for you to chase another achievement, but for you to elicit the inward transformation that it's going to take as you set that big goal that scares you and as you pursue it. But XYL isn't just about chasing achievements. It's about becoming that woman that can carry them. It's not just let me set all these different things. It's, hey, am I being intentional about becoming that version of me that can do that thing? And that's what it's about. And so before you choose those goals, ask yourself who you want to become. And for those that are praying, you can even ask God, who is the woman God is calling me to become in 2026? And if you just heard that on the podcast, Captain, my dog, is coming in, which is why I never record at home. Who is the woman God is calling me to become in 2026? Secondly, is one of my favorite intentionalities that I'm bringing into 2026, and that is thinking in the way of making 1-degree shifts. We read a book last year in our XYL book club, and it was a great book. It's called The Mountain Is You, and it just really allows you to learn a lot about yourself. But at the beginning of the book, it talked about micro shifts, which are 1-degree shifts. And it shared about how whenever we want change in our life, how we really dismiss the small, almost insignificant changes, but consistently done will lead to the big progress that we're looking for. And how many of us are looking for that, oh, let me try everything tomorrow, or let me try 180ing this area of my life, when really it just sets us up for failure and brings us back to the beginning. And so your success in 2026 won't come from going all in just for 10 days. It's going to come from going in a little bit every single day. And Nick Bare has this quote of consistently good over occasionally great. And I love that quote because once again, especially being a go-getter like me, I can go all in. I can go all in, give me all of it, I got it. But to sustain that is not necessarily doable. And there will be certain times where you have to put your head down and focus and go all in and stay focused towards that goal. But when we're talking about longevity, when we're talking about actually true transformation is sustained. True transformation isn't 6 weeks and then reverting back. So when we're thinking about 1-degree shifts, that might be like, hey, I'm going to add 20 more grams of protein in. I'm going to focus on walking 8K steps a day. I'm going to input a prayer for 2 minutes to start my day. I'm going to focus on training 4 days instead of 3. Or, hey, you know what? I'm going to shift my bedtime back to 9:30. Maybe it's 10. I'm going to shift it back to 9:30. And once again, these aren't monumental. One done in just one day isn't going to make a remarkable shift come the next day. However, and I will tell you this through experience, especially last year, is I realized how important these 1-degree shifts are. And I realized how much they are so often overlooked because we're in a world of busy. We're in a world of go, 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 do everything yesterday. And so we feel this sense of urgency, which is good. We still need to feel a sense of urgency, but we feel a sense of urgency that actually holds us back. We feel a sense of urgency that actually keeps us stuck, because we're trying to make so many shifts at once that is not sustainable and then pulls us back to the beginning. And so what I want you to think, and I thought for myself too, is what are some 1-degree shifts in my life that are going to elicit change in the areas that I want to? So for example, okay, if it's your fitness. And for me, a 1-degree shift in my fitness is I still train in the morning. I still do all of that. But my 1-degree shift in my fitness is, hey, I'm going to add a 1 day of a zone 2 cardio in to help improve my cardiovascular health. Okay. That one zone 2 is not going to be completely a different person come 2 weeks from now. But over time compounded, that 1-degree shift for me is going to make change. Or also a 1-degree shift is, hey, you know what? This is actually a good 1-degree shift, is I am focusing on adding in a Sabbath in 2026, meaning a day that I am not on my phone, I'm not working, I'm solely being intentional for me really digging into my faith, as I do every day, but specifically that day, and focusing on me stewarding the things in my life really well, giving myself rest, giving myself that intentional time with my friends or my family. And that is a 1 degree shift that is not going to make so much of a change come 1 week, but compounded over time. That Sabbath for me, it's going to give me that pause that is going to refuel my tank. That then going into Sunday and Monday and Tuesday, I'm going to feel that not just excitement, but I'm going to feel that rejuvenation that otherwise I wouldn't have if I would just keep going on and on every single day being one like the next. So that's number 2. Number 1 is choose identity before you choose your goals. Number 2 is make 1 degree shifts. Side note, I'm going to plug it, is one of my 1 degree shifts from my business standpoint is really giving consistent value to you guys. And I do a lot of reading on my own. I do a lot of thinking through things. And so a 1 degree shift is I'm actually having a weekly 1 degree. And that's my weekly newsletter that's focusing on things that I'm learning, things that I'm implementing, and also some questions to get you thinking, questions to get you to elicit the 1 degree shifts in your life. And so if you want to plug that in, go to the show notes and you can opt into that. I'll send it every Monday. That is my consistent 1 degree shift for you guys. So I can just really share with you a little bit more about my life, whether it be faith, whether it be fitness, whether it be just growth in general. I'm excited to share with you about that. And then number 3, this can seem so contradictory to what I just said, but it's not, is add 1 misogi in. What a misogi is, a once in a year challenge so big and so bold and so outside of your comfort zone that it genuinely scares you and expands you at the same time. It basically resets what you believe is possible. So an example is for me in 2023, my misogi was finishing the 100 miler. It scared me. I was excited about it, but I was also really nervous. I knew that I had to become a different person by completing that goal. Usually it's physical, but it doesn't have to be. Mine this year is writing a book. Okay, I know through that process, I'm going to have to commit to myself because a book ain't gonna write itself, but I have to commit to myself and become a different person and expand who I am, expand my thought, expand everything about me to achieve that goal. A few people last year in our community we did a big hike Adirondacks, and it was a massive hike. And that was their misogi, that one thing that they focused on that is year defining. That when I say, hey, what'd you do in 2025? They knew. Hey, what'd you do in 2025? What'd you do in 2024? I know exactly what my one thing is. And so what that could be for you is this is not about performance. It's not about you completing it the best possible. It's solely about transformation. And that's why I love setting audaciously scary but good goals. And this doesn't mean run like crazy with a chicken with your head cut off, but it means be intentional about what you're setting. And it should be hard enough where you are not 100% going to achieve it. Meaning there should be a 50% chance of failure here. And why is that important? Is because if you know that you can achieve it, it's not a misogi. If you know without a doubt that it doesn't kind of give you a little bit of, ooh, I'm kind of nervous for this, it's not a misogi. Because it's not going to expand you and it's not going to really reset what you believe is possible. So a few examples of this could be a summit hike. Okay, we have a big Yellowstone hike this upcoming year. You could join us and do that summit hike. It could be a long endurance event. It could be signing up for an XYL event, a strength event, something that scares you but excites you. It could be a spiritual retreat. Maybe you want to go on a mission trip this year. So there's one in the book with Comfort Crisis where he does a really big cold water or outdoor immersion and like survival experience. Crazy. It could be a high rocks, a lifting meet, a run you've never tried, different things that, once again, questions if you can achieve it, but secondly, expands you. And the goal is not for this one to win, it's to meet a deeper version of yourself. And you can read all of the books. You can consume all of the podcasts. You can listen to this podcast. You can do all of the things. But until you physically do something and put something on your calendar that excites you and scares you and gets you on the edge of your seat, it doesn't matter. We cannot see the things within ourselves just hoping and reading and consuming. This is truly about putting yourself out there and showing yourself what's possible. And it can only be done through what you do with you. Okay. Number 4 here is build rhythms, not resolutions. For some reason, the word rhythm has just continuously come up in my life over the past couple months. And I talked about it 2 months ago to some girl that I was chatting with, and I just kept telling her, I want to think about my rhythms for 2026. And a rhythm is basically a structure or a loose routine. Is not necessarily resolution. Resolution is this outcome based. A rhythm is the process based. So for example, a rhythm for me is once again having my Sabbath on Saturday. That's a weekly rhythm that I want in my life. Another rhythm from a daily standpoint, or you could also say routine, is I wake up, I do my Bible study, then I go work out. That's my daily morning rhythm or routine. The rhythm for me, it just feels very, it feels still structured and intent. I think that's the best word for it. I was trying to think of the word for it. It just feels very intentional. Okay. A routine, as much as yes, it's important, it can be very rigid. And what I caught myself last year is I was having these routines, but as I was growing, I wasn't updating my routines. And so I was still doing the same things that I did years ago, which were good. They were great for me. I was working out. It was doing certain things in my life that were beneficial, but I needed a new rhythm. Okay, so then I shifted to doing a little slower morning and digging into the Bible and then going to work out. And that rhythm now supports the phase of life that I'm in right now. And so I want you to think about from a time standpoint. So a daily, a weekly, or a monthly. A daily rhythm. What is that daily rhythm? How do I wake up? How do I go to bed? What am I doing there? Weekly. What do I need weekly? Is that a check-in with myself? Is that a Sabbath? Is that I'm going to work out 4 times a week, whatever that may be? What's my weekly rhythm? And then what's my monthly rhythm? For me, a monthly rhythm that I want to be intentional about is doing one thing fun/different every single month. Meaning, this upcoming month, I'm going on a random cool hike in this random part in Ohio that I have to intentionally do instead of just rely on what I would normally do. Next month, it might be a salsa dancing class, something that is different, that puts me not just outside of my comfort zone, but that is memorable. If you're anything like me, I love my rhythms and my routines, but because of it, I can go into just day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, and then I wake up and it's a whole next month, which once again, I can be efficient with it, but I also want to be present and I also want to be intentional. And so that's a monthly rhythm for me, is what am I doing? What's my one thing I'm doing every single month that it doesn't have to be long, it can be 2 hours, but that is memorable for me. You can add that in with your family. You can add that in with whoever, but that intentionality is what we want to bring to this year. And then last but not least, number 5 is surround yourself with people who stretch you, not just support you. Meaning, we love the people that support us. We're grateful. We love them. We need them. And I also want you to put people in your life that really stretch you into becoming all you can be. Stretch you into becoming the more present version of yourself. Stretch you into becoming the more grounded version of yourself. Stretch you into becoming people that can pull that God-given potential within. And I'm not of the mindset that every single moment you need to be growing in every single area. I think that's the culture sharing a lot to you. You should not be growing every single moment in every single area, right? But also we can have a tendency as human beings to be complacent, to go back to what feels comfortable for us in all areas. And we can either choose comfort or we can choose growth. And so at certain areas, we'll remain stable, we'll remain calm, we'll remain comfortable. We love that. Still surround yourself with people that are going to challenge you, that are going to bring people around you to really step out and step into who you were created to be. And this year, choose people that refuse to let you shrink. This year, choose people that remind you of who you are. This year, choose people that challenge you to grow. This year, choose people that celebrate your win. This year, choose people that hold you accountable when it counts. I tell everybody is we should not and are not meant to do life alone. From a fitness lens, you should not and are not meant to do your fitness journey alone. From life, you should not and we were not created to do life alone. And our people around us matter. And so can we be intentional about those people around us that, yes, will support you, but also don't enable you, that support you and also challenge you because they love you enough to not let you settle. That's the big part. And then I'm going to give you a bonus because one thing that last year was a big growth year for me in my faith. It was just like my eyes were open. And I am like I said, very driven, go-getter girl. However, I also can have a tendency to, okay, what's our plan? Okay, let's goal set. Okay, let's go do the thing. And I don't do an intentional pause and really ask God, what do you want for me in 2026? What do you want my plan to be this upcoming year? What do you want my intentionality to be this upcoming year? And He will speak to you. He will speak to you. And so my bonus is plan with God, not just a spreadsheet. Meaning you can strategize your entire year, but the most aligned direction comes actually partnering with God on that. It's not just you sprinting this marathon that He didn't call you to sprint. It's you walking intentionally with Him and you asking Him, hey, what are you guiding me towards? What do I need to release? Where are you asking me to trust deeper? What are you preparing me for? And when you can plan with Him, He's going to call you out into some unknown waters. He's going to call you out into some things that you don't think you're capable of. Read the Bible. There's a bajillion stories in there about He will call you into greater versions of yourself that's going to make you question who you actually think that you are. It's going to break every belief that you think is possible because with Him, anything is possible. But when He calls you out into those waters, are you listening or are you just so focused on your plan and your routine that you're not able to even receive what direction He wants you to go? And so as you get inundated with information, with goal setting, with planning, with focusing, where are we headed? What are we doing? What I'm going to challenge you is to be intentional. What I'm going to challenge you is to be focused. What I'm going to challenge you is to allow yourself these 5 with bonus 6 pillars. And if you need a framework, we're actually doing a goal setting event here in Columbus, Ohio this upcoming Sunday, January 11th. If you're listening to this beforehand, you are more than welcome to come on our website, expandyourlimit.com/goal setting. And you are more than welcome to come. We'll share that whole framework with you to be intentional about reflecting on 2025, but then what are we bringing into 2026 and what's our vision and what goals align with that. Okay. So if there's a few things that I could leave you with is number 1, choose your identity before you choose your goals. Who are you becoming? Number 2, making those 1-degree shifts. Number 3, adding that misogi. What is your misogi this year? What is something that scares you a little bit this year? Number 4, building rhythms, not just resolutions. Number 5, supporting or surrounding yourself with people that support you and stretch you. And then number 6, planning with God, not just a spreadsheet. Okay. All right. Love you guys. It is going to be an epic year. I was finalizing some of our events that we had. We have hikes planned, a lot of different lifting events planned, runs planned. And these are not just to put another achievement under your belt, but it's to show yourself what's possible. It's to show yourself in community what you can do as you set a goal and as you commit to it and as you follow through with it. Okay. It's going to take courage. It's going to take confidence. It's going to take community. And it is going to take showing yourself a greater level of you. Okay. Love you guys. Have an amazing rest of your week, and I'll see you soon.